Hi everyone, Coach Stefan Rudolph coming to you straight today from beautiful Big Bear Lake out here in California area, and wanted to come to you directly to answer a question that I have from a subscriber here, someone just like yourself out there that's looking for health, wellness, and areas to improve in life when it comes to uh, overcoming either obstacles in life mentally or physically, emotionally, and help in that area of spiritually. And his question to me was from a physical aspect of how I overcame seizures and also with his driving right now. Now he has his license, and to the viewer out there, Brian, you have your license, you have your driver's license, you're asking about how can I go about getting, I'd say, a normal life back is what you're asking, being able to drive without worrying about having seizures. And of course, I don't recommend that. You have to go through your doctor, you have to have your prescriptions, everything else. In my story, in my case, what I started doing was, as you heard on my other stories too, was meditation, awareness, and prayer. I changed my life basically by becoming more in tune with my body, through my mind, through my heart, and I'd say through my soul, and understanding what is affecting me by causing the seizures. Now, some people say, I have epilepsy, I have seizures. That's pretty basic, black or white, right? You're going to have epilepsy, you're going to have seizures, you're not going to have epilepsy, you're not. In my case, I had the epilepsy, and as many of you know as well from my story, the brain surgery I had. Basically, I had a high school football injury 30 years ago. I was in a coma for 3 days, woke up, and from a major seizure, of course, and went into that coma, woke up, and was on prescription drugs for the rest of my life, pretty much. I didn't know exactly at that time that I had epilepsy because it was a concussion, and I didn't have any grand mal seizures for about 5 more years afterwards. But when that grand mal seizure did happen 5 years later, I had to be put on prescription drugs from that point forward. So that was handling my seizures from that point. After 10 years of that, the seizures came back. They relapsed for me in 2004, and I realized that it was my diet. Now, not right offhand, no one told me about this. They said, try this drug, try Keppra, try, sorry, this drug driving, try Tegretol, Topamax, Depakote, uh, the other Keppra, all these drugs that were working for about 6 months, and the seizures came back. And then I had brain surgery in 2007. Now, in the end, I thought I was cured. I got off the drugs, but the seizures came back in 2008 and 2009. And I dealt with that for another 3 years. Seizures on the racquetball court, in the weight room, in the locker room, 2 epileptic car accidents, multiple grand mal seizures just kept occurring all throughout my life. What I awoke to was the spiritual awakening I got through Wayne Dyer, through John Assaraf, through The Secret, through different areas of aspect of my life of between the mind and the heart and my soul had me open up a new pathway in life and say I need to pay attention to what's going on, how I'm fueling my body is how I'm feeling in my body and in my world around me. So to answer the question about this is the way I started controlling the seizures was paying attention to my diet, journaling, chemicals that were involved like red dye 40, high fructose corn syrup, the sugars, yellow dye, red dye, any of those dyes and chemicals that were not natural, I felt as from my journaling. When I would eat breakfast, I would journal, and I still do. When I would eat lunch, what I ate for lunch, and if I had a seizure back in the day in 2010 or 11, I was understanding, well, this is what I ate, or I was drinking Mountain Dew, 5-hour energy drink, high fructose corn syrup, again with all these chemicals I was putting in my body, not paying attention to my body. There's nobody like your body. It's not just the one body. You are the only body that is a nobody. You are somebody, and unlike everybody, you have to pay attention to your own body and your own heart. And I said, okay, I'm going to cut this food out. Burger King, McDonald's, fast foods. It was fillers that were not doing well for me. It was fillers that I kept eating all the time, and I was never completing my hunger. It was always constantly hungry because of the carbohydrates. And it goes back to answering the question. There is no definite black or white answer. It was my body, and you have to pay attention, Brian, to your body and those out there listening. It's your body that you pay attention to. You eat, you journal, you feel, you react. If you're having seizures, pay attention to what you ate, especially 2 to 3 hours earlier. Pay attention to what you had that day, 12 hours, 24 hours earlier, and connect the dots because there is a relation. The medication will help, but my meditation over medication is what cured me in those areas. Meditation, awareness of what I was eating, prayer in my aspect, and being a spiritual Christian. You do what you want to do as far as praying to a higher power or doing something along the lines of positive thinking. But MAP, meditation, awareness, and prayer, manifestation, and attraction of what you think about, you bring about, and positive thinking in those areas. So keep that in mind and journal those things down that you are eating, and pay attention to if and when the seizure feeling does occur, whether it's a small mal or a grand mal. What did I eat? What did I drink? It goes back, Brian, to answering your question. There is no cure. You can't just say, I'm eating this and I'm not going to have a seizure on the road. Again, if you have your driver's license, great. But I would recommend doing the journaling for 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time. And when you're able to control or understand where your seizures are coming from, you're able to control your life then. I have a client also that has pasta every night. And with that pasta, she's understanding that that was not conducive. She was having seizures always early in the morning, taking her medication 3 times a day, but as she went to bed, taking her medication at 6, eating, and then having seizures later about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That area right there, she was always having pasta, always having carbohydrates. Now this for her personally, again, more on a vegan diet or a ketogenic diet, finding out the best ways to process that her body needs to process the food so it doesn't react and have seizures. So pay attention to your body again. Be above the clouds, as this shirt says here, and understand looking down at the big picture of life, looking down at your body, your mind, your heart, and looking at it through your soul, understanding how to fuel your body the best way possible. That's it. Coach Stefan Rudolph coming to you straight from beautiful Big Bear Lake, California, and you have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace.